Breaking news that's coming in. Asiya Andrabi, along with her two associates belonging to the Duktaran-e Millat, have been sent to Delhi now from Srinagar Central Jail. They have to appear before a court with regards to a case. Now, Asiya Andrabi has been sent to the national capital to appear in court pertaining to a case. It is not just her, two of her aides also belonging to her group, the Duktaran-e Millat, have now been sent to the national capital. This is after the NIA filed a fresh FIR against Asiya Andrabi, filing sedition charges against her, and now in this particular case taking it forward and of course ensuring a crackdown on separatists. You've got Asiya Andrabi being flown down to Delhi to appear in court in this particular case. Republic TV just a few days ago had given you details of a massive crackdown on separatists, particularly on the top rung of the Hurriyat, and we're also given you details of a fresh FIR that's been filed against Asiya Andrabi as well as her group, the Duktaran-e Millat, for anti-national speeches, and they'd filed sedition charges against her. Now, based on this FIR that's been filed by the NIA, Asiya Andrabi has been sent to the national capital to appear before court to take forward this case. Zina joining us with more details on this. Zina, the crackdown on separatists, on anti-national forces has begun. Asiya Andrabi is now being flown to Delhi for, of course, appearing in court in that fresh FIR.
Yes, this is the news that is coming in, that the Asiya Andrabi, along with her two associates, family, they have been flown to the Delhi, that they have to appear before the NIA because the fresh charges have been slammed against them, and that comes in under international activities and the sedition speeches that have been made by the Asiya Andrabi, because there have been the NIA as NIA was investigating the case of stone pelting and the 2016-17, in fact the 18 agitation, and there have been a role of Asiya Andrabi, as they have pointed out. That is why she has been flown to the Delhi, where she will be questioned and later she will be produced before the court. It's more like a terror crackdown once again on the separatists that was seen in 2007, particularly when the top-rank leadership was arrested and later they were lodged in Tihar and other jails in Delhi. So now the the important things that are coming is the Asiya Andrabi, one of the leaders who are separatists and a hardcore leader, that she belongs to the Duktaran-e Millat, has been taken to Delhi.
As Sushil Pandit as well for his reaction on the same. Sushil Pandit, we're seeing now their unprecedented crackdown on separatists kick off by the NIA, a fresh FIR that's been filed by Asiya Andrabi, and already we're seeing quick action because now Asiya Andrabi is being taken to Delhi to be produced in court.
It's a welcome development, Akshita. I hope she is put in a locker, in a cooler, and the keys are thrown irretrievably. She has been a main culprit in fomenting trouble and hate in Kashmir. She is one of the worst faces of jihad Kashmir has seen. She should have been prosecuted long back. Her fund flow, her terror links are very well known. Her links with the terrorist organizations as well as the ISI-promoted network in Kashmir is very well known. Her husband is in jail for murder of her human rights activist, Hussaina Panchu. So her antecedents are completely clear. She is someone who cannot be free. She's someone who cannot be roaming around, fomenting more and more trouble and recruiting more and more people. I hope her visit to Delhi is not confined to just questioning. She is put under stringent conditions. A watertight case is slapped on her. She is prosecuted and sentenced, nice and proper, and made an example out of. She is one of the most virulent faces of jihad in Kashmir, and she has no business being out like a free citizen.
And you know, Mr. Sushil Pandit, even as we discuss what's happening right now is Asiya Andrabi, do you think the time is ripe right now for this crackdown on every anti-national voice in the valley, from the top rung of the Hurriyat to every single separatist who's spoken these kind of seditious words, that the time now is to crack down on these kind of forces, considering that the PDP is out now, you don't have any sympathizers really in power?
You see, time has been ripe for a long, long time. We are waiting for Koto in Kashmir. That action never comes. There is a policy paralysis in Kashmir. Earlier, the entire governance and power was handed on a platter to Mehbooba Mufti, and BJP had abdicated its responsibility. Now they don't even have that fig leaf.
Absolutely.
They don't even have that pretense that we don't know. Now they have governor. But it's been at least 2 to 3 weeks, one hasn't seen any action on ground. In fact, this governor should be changed, someone more meaningful, more hands-on,
Okay.
younger, more energetic, with a good...
Yes, and we've been learning that the NIA is going to initiate a crackdown, an unprecedented one at that. Lieutenant General B.S. Jaswal also joining us on this broadcast. General Jaswal, we're breaking details now of a crackdown on Asiya Andrabi. We saw a fresh FIR being filed against her with sedition charges. She's being flown down to Delhi as we speak to be produced in court. Do you see this as the beginning of an unprecedented crackdown by our agencies against these anti-national forces?
Firstly, I really for taking steps. We have been suffering this seditious propaganda in Kashmir.
Okay, Lieutenant General Jaswal, we'll reconnect with you. We seem to be having a bit of a problem connecting with your line there and getting your reaction on this. But this is no doubt a welcome development. I remember just days ago, Republic TV had told you about how the NIA is going to initiate this kind of a crackdown against every single separatist in the valley who dares to speak against India. Asiya Andrabi being the first in that list now. A fresh FIR has been filed against her. She's been booked for sedition. And now she, as well as two of her aides from the Duktar and A. Milat, are being taken to Delhi to be produced in court. So not just are you seeing charges being framed against her, you're also seeing speedy action, speedy follow-up action being taken up. All the voices that we've also been getting so far on this breaking development have welcomed to this, but have also said that right now is the perfect time to initiate this kind of a crackdown. Governor's rule is on. There can be no excuses. There are no sympathizers in the government at this point, much like how Mehbooba Mufti tried to shield these separatists. Now there are no barricades, and that's why the time is ripe to ensure that this kind of a crackdown continues and reaches its finality, that every single person who dares to speak in this kind of an anti-national tone will be punished. And Zeenat is once again with us. Zeenat, days ago we had given our viewers details about how the NIA is now going to be going after each and every one of these separatists, everyone who dares to speak out against India. Give us details of what really the strategy is, because over the last 1.5 years or so, we've been seeing elaborate raids, we've been seeing the NIA literally prepare for this crackdown.
Yes, see, if you remember that last year in June, actually the process all started when the NIA conducted massive, multiple raids were conducted for more than 3-4 months, in which not only the separatist leaders, but also the businessmen were, booked, and also a few of the stone pelters. The photographer from the South Kashmir was arrested in connection with certain charges that he was in touch with stone pelters. They were being funded to instigate violence on ground. But at the same time, if you talk about the top-rung leadership, be it the Yasin Malik, Mirwais Umar Farooq, or the Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, and now the Duktar and Milat chief Sayyid Asiya Andrabi. So the eyes were on them for a long time, that how they will be.
Yes, Zeenat, go ahead. We can hear you. All right, I will get back to Zeenat in just a bit for, of course, the details of this NIA crackdown. As she was pointing out, over the last few months, in fact, over the last 1 year, we've been seeing elaborate raids taking place. But now, as Republic TV told you just a few days ago, an unprecedented crackdown has been kicked off by our agencies, by the NIA. Major Gaurav Arya is joining us now on this broadcast. Major Gaurav Arya, how do you see this development? Asiya Andrabi being sent to Delhi, you're seeing fresh charges being filed against her, and also speedy action soon after. She's going to be produced in a court in the national capital. We've been getting in a lot of voices, all of whom believe that the time is ripe, that the time is now to ensure that this crackdown is carried forward.
Absolutely. Let's be clear on one thing, that Asiya Andrabi is an enemy of the state. She has been found to have direct links with UN-designated terrorist Hafiz Saeed. She has spoken to him on the phone. She has admitted publicly to having received encouragement and funds from Lashkar-e-Taiba. NIA should have a, ironclad case against her and put her in jail. And when they put her in jail, they should put her away for a very long time outside Kashmir. We always commit the mistake of putting these people in jail in Kashmir, where the local environment supports them. Whether it's the government or the police, everybody's afraid of them. People support them. They get VIP treatment. She should be sent to a jail somewhere far in the northeast or down south.
Yes, Major Gaurav Arya, thank you for speaking to us. Now, under governor's rule, will we see this much needed crackdown is the question. NIA, as sources have told Republic TV, is all set to now take this forward. Asiya Andrabi is just the first one off the list. There is going to be a massive crackdown on the top leadership of the Hurriyat as well.